All right, hello and welcome to episode 71 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, he's back, everybody, at Jacques Lane.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We missed you last week. I was traveling last week, and it just became impossible for us to sit down and do the podcast. So we missed you last week, but we are back this week, and got some exciting news that literally just broke to share with you guys. So that's cool. And then we got a very special Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus for you guys at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, in between time, I sound like a radio host now. Juan is gonna lead us through the rest of the show.
All right, cool. So, Jacques, why did we not record a podcast last week? Can you explain to the people your whereabouts, your happenings, and all that good stuff? Because it was pretty cool. Like, it's not, we didn't just record just for the sake of not recording. You had something very cool to do.
Yes, I was out in beautiful Orlando, Florida. The most touristy place in all of America, basically, outside of probably Hollywood. Probably more than Hollywood, I would think.
Yeah. Someone who's been to Orlando, like, it's all touristy spots. Like, I don't know Orlando that's not a touristy spot, right? Like, it's just theme parks, mall, and then flat roads to everywhere else.
Yeah,
like I've been to Gainesville, Miami.
Restaurants.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So I was there for the PGA Show, which is a trade show for golf, basically. And it was intense. Like, there was so much going on there. It was exciting to be there and cool to kind of be in the building, but it was probably the most tired that I've been. Like, they take over the entire convention center in Orlando. When I say the entire convention center, I literally mean the entire convention center. So you're walking from one side to the other in the same show, and it's intense. But everything you can think of for golf is there. Like, if you think about anything, and when I say anything, I mean anything that happens at a golf course, it's there. From the range balls you hit, to the mat you hit off of, to the golf cart that they drive, to the software they use, to the ball machine, to the tees, to the ball cleaner in between holes, to the mat you use to wipe off your shoes, to the batteries they use inside of the carts. Every single thing you can think about in the world of golf was there. There were 1,000 simulator companies. I don't know if somehow the technology for simulators has been democratized, because there were so many simulator companies there. Like, you think of the big guys, there's like TrackMan, there's like Foresight, and maybe like Unicore, but there was probably 15 others in addition to those. So it's impressive what's happening in the simulator space, and the prices are going down like crazy. Like, FlightScope had one there for like $199. Rapsodo has theirs for $699. Blue Cheese is gonna have one for like $599. It's crazy. But anyway, the show is incredible. They have clothes there. They have accessories, golf club cleaners, golf shoes, golf apparel. It's all there. The range picker, the different versions of range pickers you can get are there. It's all there, and it's really, really a cool thing to see, because you really get to see how golf operates from the top to the bottom, especially when it comes to the course. Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool experience.
You sound like you're a pretty geek there, Jacques. Like, you sound like me when I go to E3, especially the first time I went to E3. My God, I was so overwhelmed. It was just like, video game Christmas, where I got to go. Like, the first time I went to E3, what was it, like 2009, 2008 or something like that? And the first time I went there, like, is at the LA Convention Center, and similar, I guess, to what you went to, it's wall-to-wall video games in terms of like the hallways. Everywhere you look, it's just new games, stuff that's coming out, and everything you can think about in regards to gaming, whether it's controllers, accessories, you name it. It was all there. So I would imagine you kind of had that same reaction. So yeah, no, that's very cool. That's actually kind of awesome. Now, what is the difference and like what did they offer in terms of like to be competitive with like the bigger companies?
I mean, part of it I think is obviously name recognition. Like
Sure.
TrackMan is like the default when it comes to like simulators. Like you see,
Hmm.
everybody recognizes like the orange box. Like that's TrackMan's thing, and they kind of have that locked down. They have the software that everybody trusts. Everybody trusts the numbers and things like that. So these new brands are going to have to like convince consumers that they're just as good. Now they won't be exactly as good, like the algorithms are going to be different. The
Sure.
the way that spin and all those things will be different. But from what I understand, the difference between like a $199 simulator
Uh-huh.
and a $25,000 simulator, which is what TrackMan costs, is only like 5% on the accuracy, like 5 to 10% on the accuracy,
Mm.
but it's like the software and the access to different courses where you really start to see the difference. Like TrackMan has things that can like 3D track your body when you get separate cameras, and they can hook them up to certain machines and stuff like that. So the it's the details are pretty granular, but
Hmm.
for the most part, if you just want a machine that you can play golf at home, or you
Right.
just want to take it to the range with you and get a good idea of what your numbers are, you
Hmm.
could probably get away with the a good machine that's under $1,000.
Wow. Like,
Yeah,
because
like
when you
if
talk,
you want to just set something up in your garage, like you want, I'm gonna set up a little simulator in my
sure.
garage. I'm gonna use my iPad and get one of those nets off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Like that's you can do that, probably do that whole setup for like $1,500.
Oh, that's interesting because, when I think about simulators, I think about like the super high end stuff, like what's going on with TGL, or the
Hmm.
stuff that you see at like a Dick's Sporting Goods or, like at a Roger Dunn or something like that. That's what I think about when I think of simulators. But now I think what you're saying is like we're kind of getting to this point where it's kind of like with F1, like people who are like fans of F1, they buy like their simulator rigs and they've
Yep.
got like this whole setup where they can sit on the chair where it feels like you're actually like in an F1 car or something like that. I feel like you're kind of
Hmm.
saying like this, we're kind of getting to that point with golf as well.
Now you can get like the F1 like setup, like if you want to do
Yeah.
like the whole simulator chair and all that, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that kind of setup, but that's gonna cost you like $100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they had like this setup. There's like a basically a golf shed essentially, and it was like $200,000, but it had like a deck on top, and it was like just a room dedicated to you, and it had like this giant curved screen, this like
Good.
8K projector. But
Wow.
you get what you pay for. So like you want
Yeah.
something like that, and even like I think Full Swing does it. They have one with a putting surface that
Right.
changes based on the lie of your shot.
Yeah.
So it can go all the way up. If you want to get like realistic, I think you can get closer to that. But if you just want something where you want to go in the garage and maybe you want to play around, or just be maintain your swing and hitting balls during the winter months for the people that don't live in SoCal like we do, like you spend $1,500 and you've got a setup that you can pretty much play anytime you want.
Yeah, and I would imagine people who are living through that right now probably would like a setup like that. People who are living on the East Coast and all
Yeah,
of those other places right now, they're probably looking at this and be like, you know what? That's probably a worthwhile investment considering if you're serious about your golf
considering.
game
Yeah,
and you live in one of these like colder, states like Ohio, Michigan, and all those places. Man, it's like, yeesh. And I look at the weather right now, I'm like, ooh, boy, it's not pretty. Meanwhile, here in
not pretty at
SoCal, it's gonna
all.
be like it's gonna be near 80s apparently, like this coming week, and you're like, man, we're kind of spoiled
Yep.
around here, aren't we?
We are
we're,
we are
so,
definitely spoiled. Like there is no question about us being spoiled. We are spoiled for sure.
well, at least you had an interesting week, Jock. I also had a pretty interesting week too. Going back to like the F1 thing, we got me and my brother. We finally got like our box of like Topps Chrome F1 trading cards.
Oh,
So we kind of
nice.
yeah, we kind of geeked out about that. Got a couple good things. Got a nice little Kimi Antonelli there. Gonna, keep that, put that, like, think of it as like a little mini investment kind of deal. Kind of got lucky
Okay.
with that one, so that's pretty cool. But I think I wanted to talk about Jacques, and this is I don't know how to approach this, but Jacques, do you keep in touch with anybody from high school? Like, are you close with anybody with your high school friends still to this day?
Just one person.
One person. Okay. Okay. So I don't know why I'm sending up like this, but basically, I got a text message from a friend, and they sent me a link, and it is to this old clip of Jessica Alba, who I'm sure we all know who Jessica Alba is.
Uh-huh.
Just yeah, good times. Jessica Alba was definitely, like, one of the more attractive
Mm-hmm.
celebrities back
Yep.
then, to this day, then, now, forever. Good lord. Anyways, so my buddy sent me this clip of old Jessica Alba. Like, I guess she was being interviewed by David Letterman,
Uh-huh.
and she was talking about being at uh, a Diddy party, let's just say.
Uh-huh.
Not like the Diddy party that that's basically been going around, like, in the Sean Combs and all that, like, documentary and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff. None of
yeah.
that stuff. None of that stuff. But basically, like, a typical party. And
Yeah.
she was talking about her brother, and her brother was apparently, like, at the time, about to be married, and
Uh-huh.
just had a little bit too much to drink, and
Okay.
maybe got a little bit too let's say, liberally rapping on the mic, and he's like started singing, like, Diddy songs, shall we say, and saying all the
Uh-huh.
words, shall we
Oh,
say. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you can see where this is going. And Jessica
Yep.
basically had to be like, no, wait, no, he's cool, he's my brother. Really, please do not throw him out. Do not throw him out or anything like that.
Right, right, right.
Here's the thing, I know who that brother is. And when that happened, I had like this Leonardo DiCaprio moment where I was like, I know who that is. I know I
Yeah.
know who Jessica Alba's brother is. And he was basically someone who I went to high school with. Like, we were not, we're not friends or anything like that. It's more just like we knew of each other, but we were never like hanging out or anything like that. But it was just one of those
Yeah, yeah,
weird
yeah.
moments where I was like, wait a minute. And I'm talking with a buddy. I'm like, hey man, you sent me this, and we were just like having, just a couple of jokes back and forth. But I just thought it was funny because the more I think about it, like, I just don't really have a lot of connections with people from high school, and it was just fun to have like that little throwback of like, oh, I remember that guy, and then
Oh,
to
yeah,
have that
yeah.
context of like now everything that's happened with Diddy and how things could have turned out so much differently for him.
Yes.
Jessica Alba's brother, if things had been like more, let's say, more positive, shall we say, if like
Mm-hmm.
he had endeared himself to Diddy, or
Right.
things could have turned out so much more differently for him. So, but yeah, I just thought that was an interesting, weird sidetrack story that I just thought was like, I just really just like had me a moment like I had not thought of that person since the
Oh,
90s,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically. And then, like, to have this come up, I'm like, wait a minute, I know who that is. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, wow. Yeah, because I went to high school with Jessica Alba's brother, and just one of those like moments where and of course I also think about, like, what could have been if I had been friends with that guy and I had been introduced to Jessica, and
Uh, you know,
do the Larry
who
David, like,
knows?
who knows, who knows.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's one of those, like, it's the great what if of my life, Jacques. It's really
The
not,
great
but I
what
just thought.
if. The great what if.
But we wouldn't be, but we might not be friends. We might not be
We might
podcasts,
not.
but
That's true. We
we
might
have
not
to. I
be
have to look
friends.
at it that way. I have to look at
Yep.
it this way. But let's be honest. It was Jessica Alba or Jacques Slade, I'd be like,
I hear
uh,
you. I 100% hear you.
but yeah, no, it
That's
was just like
funny.
a funny little flashback there. Yeah, in terms of like, when you don't think about like somebody for X amount of years, and then all of a sudden like this comes up, and you're
Comes
just
up
like
and you're
all
like,
these memories come
like,
back. But honestly, I
Yeah.
don't actually have any memories of this guy other than, oh, I saw him in high school. Like we were like classmates in some classes, but but then you just hear like, oh, he's actually like the sister, his sister is actually like so-and-so, like an up and coming actress. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Mm.
And then you see her for the first time and you're like, oh, damn.
Right. Right.
Wow. Hi. Hi. Maybe I should be friends with you, Jessica Alba's brother more or something. you know.
Too late now, bro. Too
Yeah,
late
too late.
now.
Too late now. Yeah, well, what you gonna do? Well, anyways,
Definitely.
before we move on to the show, Jacques, I wanted to touch on something a little bit like, serious here for a moment. Obviously, with all the things that are happening now in Minnesota, it's, it's not great. It's not great.
Right.
At the same time, I feel like us talking about it for any extended period of time is just really not going to do really anybody any good. It's just going to be just us like being, whether it's emotional, frustrated, and all that stuff. And really, it doesn't do anybody any good. I think it's better for us to just like talk about like what people can do, like, show action or something like that. Right.
Right.
And I want
100%.
to, yeah. And I wanted to share this post by somebody who has gotten flamed on social media like recently, Katy Perry. And, she got roasted, flamed for all, the thing with the Blue Origin, whatever that was when they went up to like
Uh-huh.
the astronaut thing and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
she posted this thing and I thought it was pretty neat just because, it's funny how things can turn around, right? Like, people can be roasted and be all these things on social media. And then like they post something like this and you're like, oh, you know,
Yep.
maybe we shouldn't take that kind of stuff seriously so much. Like, just kind of look at like, let's focus on these kinds of things, focus on actions rather than these silly, goofy things and, kind
Right.
of go for that. So what I wanted to share right now is this post by Katy Perry. And she says, call 202-224-3121 and ask to speak with your senator. And basically, this is a script. Hi, Senator, whoever your senator is, whatever state you are from. My name is your name, and I'm a resident of this state. I'm calling to urge you to filibuster the upcoming Homeland Security Appropriations Bill. I'm sick of watching lawful citizens and non-citizens being arrested at their jobs, assaulted at peaceful protests, pulled out of their vehicles, blinded by munitions, and getting shot and killed by ICE. We will be watching your vote, and we will remember. Again, my name is your name, and my contact info is your phone number and your email, and my zip code is whatever your zip code is. Thank you for listening, and please do the right thing. I mean, people are going to have to look up, the for whoever's representing
Yeah.
you, whatever state you're representing you, go look up the
Yeah.
number and follow the script. And yeah, I think that it's actions now. Like, people can talk, people can just spend time blowing hot air, just saying whatever, posting stuff on Instagram or Twitter, TikTok, whatever, and just saying whatever. But if there's no action, nothing follows up, it's not really worth anything. So I figured we just take a little bit of time in this podcast to share something that people can do.
Yeah.
It's a little thing, but with everybody contributing and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure people have an understanding of like where we side on things. I don't think anybody's coming into here with any assumptions of like, what
Yeah.
side we are on. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that and I'll put it up on the graphic on the show and also on the show notes so people can kind of look that up as well. So, all right. Moving on with the show, let's take care of this thing that just happened right before we went to recording. It's been talked about for the past couple of weeks. ANTA has shown interest in buying PUMA.
Yeah. It's
And just as we were
crazy.
about to go to record, we speculated like whether this would actually happen or not. But now it has come to pass. And according to this article by Reuters, China's ANTA Sports Products said on Tuesday it would buy a 29.06% stake in Puma from the Pinault family for 1.5 billion euros, around $1.8 billion, making it the biggest shareholder in the German sportswear maker. That is, a very interesting news. And actually, that number is, I think, a little bit more than what was originally reported. I believe it wasn't even like close to like $1 billion. But now I'm guessing there's like, buyer's premiums and all that kind of
Mhm.
bumps up the price. But we'll see how this goes. We don't know, exactly when, transfer of power and all that stuff, when ANTA's actually going to have to start having a say in whatever Puma does and actually what their role is going to be, whether they're just going to let Puma just be their own independent thing and they kind of chime in every once in a while, or if they're actually going to take over the company. I'm sure there's going to be with all these mergers, every time these things happens, there's going to be like, overlaps in terms of people, jobs, and all that. So that's going to be, kind of sucky for the people who work at Puma. I'm sure there's going to be redundancies and there's going to be things where, unfortunately, maybe some people are going to have to like be let go, which sucks. Um,
Yeah.
but the thing that I wanted to talk about, with this is like, what does this actually mean for us in the sneaker culture? Is this actually a big deal, a little deal? I mean, it's a deal, but I'm just
Mhm.
wondering how much of an impact do you think this is going to have? Sneaker business, obviously, this is huge. This is the biggest, this
Yeah.
is a hell of a way to start the new year.
Yeah,
But in
yeah.
terms of like culture wise, what do you think the impact of this is going to be in the short term, long term? Like, right now, what do you think? And then long term, what do you think?
Yeah, short term, I'm not sure it's gonna make that big of a difference on anything that we see happening.
Hmm.
Um, this isn't ANTA buying PUMA, so I think we need to look at it through a different lens. This is more of ANTA buying, just becoming a majority shareholder, which, a lot of
Hmm.
institutions are shareholders in companies, and it doesn't make them like owners of the company.
Hmm.
I would imagine because they are such a big shareholder, this means that they'll have more input in like the overall strategy of the brand, I think. I imagine like the board for Puma is it going to include someone from Anta or from someone from Anta's team so that they have a better purview of what's going on at the company and what decisions the company is making and who they hire as CEO and CFO and stuff like that. But I don't think they're going to have much to do in the day-to-day operations. ANSA may help them possibly find some cost savings in distribution and in the supply chain through this deal, but I'm not sure there's going to be an impact as far as like design and stuff like that goes. So it'll be
Hmm.
interesting to see. So I think that's the long term look. Is this Anta just dipping their toes in the water to see what they can really do with Puma and where it can go? Or is this Anta's long term play to be like, how do I take over and make this and this is our Trojan horse into the American market. Like we started with Kyrie, and then this could be a bigger play to really to get into the U.S. market via Puma sales.
Right. And you mentioned that, like, it could be potentially like a Trojan horse in order to get into like the US market where they can use like, their infrastructure to really get in there. And
Yes.
the first thing I thought about for whatever reason was Puma has a lot of outlet stores. Whether you go to Ontario Mills or Cabazon, there's always a Puma store. I could envision that Puma store maybe not being replaced by an Anta store, but maybe it's more of like a share. Like, they share like
Mm.
space, or whether it's it's those kinds of possibilities where you start to see more Anta product at big box retailers, whether it's Foot Locker, JD Sports. Like they're going to use a little bit of Puma's infrastructure to maybe like get their way in here into the American market, which, they've been making inroads before. Like I've seen Anta product popping up at Foot Locker, I believe, or was it JD Sports? But I have seen it, and I have
Mm-hmm.
been kind of the word is not surprised, but more just like, oh, that's neat. Like we're starting to see more diversity in product, like, because for so long it's been the usual suspects, right? Nike, Jordan, Adidas, Puma, Reebok,
Yep.
a little bit of Fila there, a lot of Crocs, really. But to see, an Anta or down the line, a Leaning, and of course, there's also your New Balance, your Ons, and all that stuff. But to see more product out there, more different diversity of product, I think it's pretty neat. So I think we're slowly going to start to see more, Anta product through this move. Indirectly, however you want to call it. But I wonder what this means for because you remember what is like almost a decade ago, right? When Rihanna first signed on to Puma and when they started to get
Yeah.
back into the basketball, the narrative was Puma's back. They made this
Mm-hmm.
huge comeback and, sales were going up and people were just talking about the brand in a more positive light than they had in the 20 years prior. But it
Mm-hmm.
turns out, that comeback story did happen, but there was, as with most stories, We don't necessarily, go through like the follow up. We don't do our research and do the follow up. We just assume things
Yeah.
are going along smoothly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now we've
Yeah.
kind of gotten
Yeah.
to this point where like, oh, things weren't going that smoothly. So I also
Yeah.
wonder what this means for the future of, Puma basketball. Because they've got a pretty decent roster, right? Tyrese Halliburton just released his signature shoe, debuted his signature shoe. They've got LaMelo Ball, who is, you know, pretty popular still, especially with the kids and the whole thing.
Hmm.
And they've got Breonna Stewart. They've got like I said, a pretty decent roster of athletes over there. Could we see some movement in that, or could we see cuts being made? Like, I wonder what the future is going to be. And, with the Kyrie of it all, like, I feel like
Yeah.
Kyrie here is like a big piece of it where he could look at this and be like hitting up the higher ups of Anta and be like, hey, I do my thing with the Kai stuff and everything, but you got your hands with Puma. Maybe I could be a creative director of sorts. Like, I know Salehi Bembury has a
Hmm.
pretty sizable role over there as well. But how about something for your boy Kyrie or something like? Could we see like Kyrie jump in and like team up with Lamelo or Tyrese or Brianna or something like that? Like I could see something like that down the line. Like, I just want to see a better version of this than like whatever Adidas and Reebok were trying to do. Like that
Yeah.
was just you thought there was so much potential for that, but nothing really happened unless it was and and it was like towards the end, and it was like, oh, thanks, like too little, too late, right? But I hopefully with
Yeah.
this, I want to see more like interaction between the two brands.
Yeah. I still think we have to be careful how we look at it
Sure.
because Adidas owned Reebok. Like
Yeah.
Anta doesn't own Puma. They're just a majority shareholder. So
Hmm.
I don't I don't know if they're going to have the ability to change the day-to-day operations outside, they'll just be on the board
Right.
and they'll have to operate from within those parameters. Now they buy a bigger stake, then we can start to see, I think, some of the changes coming down the hill from Anta. But right now, it seems that Anta is really just getting their toes wet to see what's going on over
Yeah.
there and seeing what makes the most sense from their perspective as far as spending money and really digging in to the Puma framework. So we'll see,
Yeah.
but it should open some doors for distribution with them being on that board. They should see we should see Anta having a bit more presence as a result of that, but I don't think they're going to blow the doors open.
Right. At least in the short term. Like maybe down the line we could see something. But the flip side of this also is that, we could also see Puma become a bigger deal in the Chinese market, right? Like
That
this could
part.
also be like
Yeah.
the other potential too. Is like we're looking at this from like the American centric side, right? Like where how can
Yes.
Anta jump into like the American market, but we can also look at it as from perspective of like Anta is buying Puma so they can bring Puma into the Chinese market and just basically reap the benefits of that,
Yeah.
make the big push over there as well. Like there's a possibility where they could push those athletes that I just mentioned, like, make them a bigger deal than they already are. I'm sure
Yeah.
if they were to do like those international tours, make Tyrese a big deal over there, like make LaMelo a big deal over there, and so on. Like there's also the potential for that as well. So we were looking at it initially from the American centric side, but the Chinese side is potentially even bigger in
Yeah.
terms of what they could do, like the Trojan horse effect of like going to the American market, but also the Trojan horse effect of like going into the Chinese market, because could actually just be worth even more to Anta at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it opens up Puma to like the distribution network that Anta has in
Hmm.
China, from the
Absolutely.
distribution network to the suppliers to manufacturing. Anta owns their own manufacturing facilities. So this could be Puma's way of getting a better deal on manufacturing. So there's a lot of things I think can come in play. We'll see how it all how it all how it all comes together. With I would say probably within the next 9 to maybe 18 months is when we'll really see. It's gonna take a while before I think we
Yeah.
really see the impacts of this deal. Yeah, 6 months to a year and a half, I would say that's probably when we'll start to really see things start to shape up. Because, it takes 18 months for anything to really filter through the system,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to footwear. So
Hmm.
we should probably be on that same sort of timeline when it comes to seeing how ANTA is going to impact Puma's bottom line and overall company on the design side.
Totally, totally. All right, so moving on to our next thing, Jacques. Let's talk about somebody who maybe people had initially thought would be next up in line to get a signature shoe. Jalen Brunson. I think when the news came out that Cade Cunningham was going to get a signature shoe with Nike, I think maybe people had the thought of, wait a minute, what about Jalen? Because
Yeah.
he's a great player, plays for the Knicks. Those are two things that are kind of a pretty big deal, I would imagine, for Nike, right?
Hmm.
But it turns out that maybe Jalen has other plans, maybe in a not so fast, my friend kind of deal. Maybe there have been discussions, but Jalen might be like, nah, maybe not so much. According to this post that was posted on Sports Illustrated, their kicks section, they talked about this influencer. I'm not sure it is basically this person named Unstructured Vision recently revealed details of Brunson's ongoing discussion with Nike on the episode of the Grindhouse podcast. And he
Hmm.
mentioned that there have been discussions with Jalen about getting his own signature shoe, but Jalen basically said, no, I refuse. I don't. Well, and this is the quote according to Unstructured Vision that Jalen said, like, in not so much, maybe not quote unquote, but I refuse. I don't want a signature. Just let me wear Kobe's for the rest of my career and I'll be good. Now, that's an uncommon thought for a star of Jalen's caliber, wouldn't you think? Like, you would
Yeah.
think that somebody of Jalen's stature in the NBA, again, playing for one of the league's more
Prominent
viable,
teams.
visible. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say successful is not the word I would use.
Yeah, that's not, yeah, bing
Yeah.
bong, bing bong, bing
I was
bong.
trying to like find words that don't translate to successful, but just more visible, well
Yeah.
known, major media markets and all that stuff. Because
Right, right.
success, eh.
Eh.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, but Jalen plays for the Knicks. He's a Nike guy, and he has been prominently featured wearing Kobe's. They recently released the Kobe 6 Pro Show, the Statue of Liberty, which was essentially a Jalen Brunson PE.
Hmm.
To, of course, much success because, of course, if you release a Kobe 6 in Statue of Liberty colors, of course, that's going to do well, regardless of whether
Yep.
Jalen's involved in it or not, to be quite honest.
Right.
But assuming this is true, and Jalen is not in the not necessarily interested in getting a signature shoe, that's an interesting position to take because you would think for a lot of these athletes, a lot of these NBA players, the goal is to one of the goals, one of the things that you put on your imaginary checklist of things that you would want to do if you ever become an NBA player, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
to get a signature shoe. But here we are with somebody like Jalen Brunson, who, okay, I'm not going to say superstar, but definitely like a upper echelon star in the NBA. You
Hmm.
would think one of his goals would be to get a signature shoe, but here he is apparently refusing to do so with a brand like Nike. You would think like, and it's a kind of an interesting position to take.
It's very interesting because every kid dreams of having their own shoe,
Right.
or at least having their name on a shoe. And I guess he is still getting his own shoe because he's getting Kobe PEs, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a responsibility to having your own signature shoe. And maybe he doesn't want to deal with the extra stuff that comes along with having a signature shoe. And then there's also the possibility of a signature shoe might not do well. And
Mm-hmm.
now you've got that hanging over your head. You might get dropped, like we're going to talk about later. You may no longer be viable in the eyes of the brand and they stop making your signature shoe. What does that do to your confidence? What does that do to you as a player? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's being safe for sure, um, because he's avoiding sort of that risk, and it almost diminishes his ability to be a big mega superstar because the marketing dollars that they usually throw behind these signature shoes, like that budget really helps shape the public perception of you as a player, he may be thinking because he's in New York, he doesn't really have to worry about that, and he can help shape his own perception, and he doesn't need the help of a brand. It's a toss up to me. I obviously would
Mm,
like my own signature sneaker. I don't think I would deny that, but I've also kind of dreamed about that since I was a kid, as everyone
true.
else does.
Hmm.
So it's an interesting perspective, but I understand if he just doesn't want to deal with all the extra stuff that comes along with it. I understand that perspective.
Right. And he would know better than we do, right? Because he is working, he is talking with the Nike folks. He's probably heard the numbers. He's probably heard what he has to do as a signature athlete. I'm sure he's had discussions with, I don't know about LeBron, but like, a KD or Giannis or somebody like people, or maybe not even within the brand, like, people outside, like, friends that he has who have
Mhm.
signature shoes. They probably talked about like what it takes to be a signature athlete. And maybe his thought process is it's not worth it. Personally, I wouldn't subscribe to that thinking because I'm probably in the same boat as you. If I was in a similar situation as Jalen, I would want a signature shoe and let the chips fall where they may afterwards. Whether it becomes a mega hit or whether it doesn't. Like, if you were to ask somebody like John Wall, like somebody who had huge promise coming out the gate, had signature shoes with Reebok and Adidas, actually. If you were to, I would love to actually talk to him and ask him, hey, because I think towards later his career, I think he wore Nikes and Jordans and LeBrons even. Do you regret that time being a signature athlete?
Mm.
I doubt he would say, yeah.
He regrets it. Yeah.
I doubt he would regret it, right? I doubt, like, it was a moment in his career, it happened. And, he can always look back and say he had signature shoes. I don't think he regrets that. So, of course, that's just me trying to like get into the thinking of somebody like that, right? But who
Yeah.
knows, maybe if he has different thoughts. But I just can't imagine being on that, especially on the level as Jalen is, to say nah. Now there is a part of me here that is getting a little conspiracy pilled, though, a little conspiracy theory here.
Okay.
What if this is actually all a I don't know, I'm not, maybe ruse is not the word, but what if this is kind of setting up, because he says, just let me wear Kobe's for the rest of career or the rest of my career and I'll be good. What if he actually means, yo, let's start a Kobe brand and I'll be that guy. I'll be the
Mm.
guy who wears Kobe's. Like, I could be like the Eddie Jones, where I have a shoe, a Kobe shoe that is technically tied to me, but not necessarily, it doesn't have my name attached to it. Like, the Jumpman
Right.
Pro Quick or the Quick 6 or something like that, right? Like, these are those were de facto Eddie Jones shoes, but you could also look at it as not Eddie Jones' signature shoes. Maybe Jalen could be looking at it from that perspective, where, hey, if Nike were to consider building out the actual Mamba brand, Kobe brand, whatever, he could become that guy for the brand where he wears everything in the Kobe line and he kind of reaps the benefits of it, whatever you want to call it, whether monetary wise or whether he just gets to be the face of the brand, which we always kind of hope maybe DeMar DeRozan would have been like way back in the days,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But Jalen is, of course, the younger version of that. Like he's kind of like taking up the torch for Kobe. We all know the story about him getting Kobe's when he was younger. Kobe gifted him, like, was it like Kobe 9 Christmases or something? And that's always stuck with him. And maybe that's a huge reason why he wants to stick with Kobe, is because maybe down the line, maybe he thinks he could be the face of the Kobe brand. And
Right.
that's not nothing. That's also not nothing.
My conspiracy theory is that they offered him a shoe and he didn't like it.
Mm,
And
that's
so he
also
wanted to stay with something that he liked,
right.
which is the Kobe. Why risk having to play in something that I don't like and that I have to promote and that I'm gonna have to smile for the camera in, when you can just give me Kobe PEs that I do actually like.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. Like, like I said, he's been in these meetings. He's talked with Nike itself. And so he's probably seen what it takes and also probably seen a prototype. And maybe it
Yep.
said hard pass.
Gave it a hard pass. I love that.
And this week's hard pass, where we take a look, something in the culture that just needs to go. Jalen Brown is like, I know. I just can't
I
tell you
know what
guys
needs
because
to go. Yeah, I just can't say
yeah,
anything
I can't
about it.
say nothing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next thing though, and you mentioned it before, like the possibility of having a signature line, but then it turns out, haha, just kidding. We're not. It's not going to be a forever thing. According to our good friends at Soul Retriever, full disclosure, I do work with Soul Retriever on a couple of things here and there. Um, Jordan Brand and Zion Williamson have decided to no longer continue with the signature shoe line. It's not clear if Zion is going to become a sneaker free agent or he was going to be ending his relationship with Jordan Brand or something like that. But it looks like it has been confirmed to sources at Soul Retriever that the Jordan Zion line is kaput. No more. Fin, dunzo, all that, all the words. All the
Right.
words. So, uh, can we look back on this whole thing and just be wondering, wow, what could have been, right? Like this could have been like remember out the gate Zion was this huge supposed to be the megastar, the
Yeah.
person who just had a lot of hype coming out of college, even from high school, everybody had huge hope for Zion. And, it just everything seemed to line up for Zion to be just this huge, big deal. And Jordan smartly got him. Like, signed him out the gate. He was wearing what was it, the Jordan 35 or Jordan 34 initially. But then, you knew he was going to get a signature shoe. You knew he was going to be like next up in line.
Yeah.
And, you saw the shoe and you're like, the Jordan Zion one, there's potential there. It's okay. It's not mind blowing or anything like that, but you kind of saw the potential. And then as the signature shoe line went on, you were like, okay, it's fine. But also at the same time, Zion's play, whenever he was actually on the court, because injuries really kind of robbed us of, him
Yeah.
realizing his full potential. And
100%.
people, and of course, there's also the off the court stuff, which kind of like turned people off to the whole design of it all, I guess. And whether that's fair or not, I'm not here to say whether that's fair or not, but it's just people just kind of soured on the whole thing. And maybe Jordan Brand also just kind of saw the writing on the wall and thought it's probably not going to get any better and
Right.
just decided to cut bait, cut it loose and just say, "Hey, it was a good time. It wasn't a long time, but yeah, well, we'll see. Wish you luck on your future endeavors, whether that's with us or anywhere else." So, man, this just felt like we just feel like we're in this timeline where it didn't work out. I could imagine another timeline where Zion is the face of the league. He's got the biggest shoe, and it just didn't work out that way.
It's making me think about this in a different way and wonder, are there too many signature athletes? It's almost
Mm,
like they just throw around signature athlete like pretty willy-nilly these days. You've got to be you got to be a star, but you don't have to be the biggest star. And for a long time, signature shoes were only for the biggest stars.
hmm
Zion had the potential to be one of those stars, and it's sad that his signature deal is going away. But his popularity and his gameplay just have not matched up to the hype. And I think that's the reality of it. And Jordan Brand is, taking the position of cutting their losses as far as like signature shoes go. So they don't have to do another signature shoe for him. I imagine he'll stay on Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't, they didn't, I didn't read anything about him leaving and going somewhere else. But if he does go somewhere else, I would imagine it would be somewhere like Nike or, gosh, I guess he could really go anywhere he wanted to, really. After leaving
Yeah.
Jordan Brand, um, you have a very good resume, so to speak. And so you could pretty much take that resume anywhere.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see him go to a China brand and then just be starting balling out of nowhere.
That would be the greatest irony. Well, I don't know if irony is the word, but that would be like the greatest twist of them all is that he goes to a different, brand and that's when everything starts to click.
Everything
You
starts to
know,
click for him. Yeah, that would be
yeah.
tough. That'd be tough.
That'd be a tough look for Jordan, but at the same time, they saw their investment and it didn't pay off. So I guess it makes sense for like they have to wonder. I'm sure there's also in their calculus, right? Like say we do let Zion go and he just becomes, whoever we all thought he was going to be. Was it
Right.
really going to pay off for them? Like, is it really worth it to them? And maybe they just thought, even if it works out the best possible scenario for Zion, it's still not worth it to us, and that's probably why they let it go.
And it
So
could be something. It could be something as simple as Zion's team was like, "We want more money," and Jordan Brand was like, "No,"
nah.
and so he was like, "I'm leaving," and they were like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. That's totally possible. Now, looking at this from the what's next for Jordan Brand, do you think now they're looking at like who it was in the current roster and thinking who's next up there, or do you think now we'll take our time, or in your mind, like maybe there are too many signature shoe athletes out there? Do you think Jordan Brand is a little bit more careful with the next person, or do you think they're in the business of like, nah, we're gonna take our time with whoever the next one is, if there is a next one? Maybe they decide like after Luka, after Tatum, that's it for a little bit.
I think they're going to take their time because we didn't see an immediate change when they stopped making Melo's shoe. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
sign somebody right away. Same thing with Chris Paul. When they stopped making his signature shoe, they didn't sign somebody right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to just take their time. And
Yeah.
once they find somebody that fits the mold that they think can be a real star,
Yeah.
then they'll sign that person. I do believe they're going to hold off on signing people in the near term. It's going to have to be someone really special, I think, to get a signature shoe with Jordan Brand. Right now they got Tatum, and I think they're focusing all their energy there, and we'll see where that eventually leads to, seeing what he's able to do. Zion has almost just become too much of a liability because of his injuries and the way that he's been playing. Just doesn't
Wow.
line up with the brand ethos, I would say.
Wow. Wow. Sorry, Trey Young. Maybe there was a little sliver of hope for you, but according to Jacques Slade, according to Juan Martinez, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not sure
I'm
Trey
not.
Young is going to be in the running for a signature shoe. He'll do like the D Wade, not was it D Wade? No, yeah, D Wade that wore like the 2010. Yeah, D
Oh
Wade wore the
no.
2010.
Why
It'll
why are you
be
doing that to
that's he'll.
Trey Young? What did Trey
I'm
Young
not
ever
saying
do to
Trey
you,
Young's going
Jacques?
to wear the 2010s. I'm just saying he's going to be the
Can we
Jordan
Photoshop?
signature.
Can we Photoshop that picture, that infamous picture of MJ and D Wade holding that shoe up and trying to pretend that they liked it, and then put Trey Young's face in there instead of D Wade, and being like just the most like phony smile, like, oh, why are we
Yeah,
doing
why me? Why are you torturing me? Yeah, I think we'll
like,
see. I don't think we'll see. I think we'll see Trey Young in just the Jordan game
yeah,
shoe, and
hmm
that'll be his quote unquote PE.
yeah. And as much as I want to root for my boy Paulo Banchero, I don't think he's going to be that next guy too. So I mean,
No, no, no,
yeah,
no. They're not
doesn't
going to
seem
get
like that's going to be
Paulo.
the case. But they're probably going to hold off and take their time and wait for whoever the next one is. Maybe it's
Which
not
is
even
what they
basketball.
should do.
Maybe it's not
Which
even
is what they
basketball.
should do. Take your time. Take your time.
Take your
Don't rush.
time. Take your time. Exactly. Um, let's do this one quick hitter, Jacques. One quick hitter before we move on to everybody's favorite segment. Steph Curry debuted a Adidas shoe, which I believe is called. I'm going to look this up
It's
right
like
now. It is
the
called
energy zone or something like that.
Crazy Energy Plus.
Crazy energy plus.
It's a funky look. It's kind of got this vibe. It's got this dazzle camo pattern, which it reminds me of this old shoe that Adidas came out with like a decade ago. That was, I believe it was like debuted by two. I remember this because they sent this to me. It was the Adidas Alpha Bounce. And it
Alpha
had
bounce.
like,
Yeah.
it kind of had like this, like the initial colorway had like this black and white print that kind of looked like Yeezys, had that energy behind them.
Yeah.
And when I look at this, I'm like, is that just like a basketball version of the Alpha Bounce or something like that? Which just kind of shows you my age because that was like, what was it, 2015, 2014 or whatever. But I'm looking at this and it's just interesting to me that apparently this is the first time this shoe has been revealed and it's of all people, Steph Curry, which kind of makes me think, man, that Under Armour deal is just dead, huh? Like, like Steph does not give a flying F about whatever hold up, whatever hang up he still has with Under Armour.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't waiting for no deal to expire. He's not waiting for anything. He's just out the door, buddy. And I wonder, quick question though, Jacques. Do you think Steph got paid to do this? Do you think there was whether handshake deal, whether something, a 10-day? Did Steph sign a
A
10-day
10-day, a
contract?
10-day
The
sneaker
10-day
contract.
Adidas contract.
That's funny. I've been thinking about this all day. Since I saw that post, I was wondering if Steph got paid. And my gut is telling me both sides, honestly. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of a promo thing, not a signature shoe deal or a shoe deal or anything like that. This is more of a promo thing. Steph is getting so much attention and for wearing these shoes, whatever it is he wears is getting a lot of buzz and a lot of traction on social media. I can see Adidas throwing a bag at him saying, if you wear these, it'd be great and we'll give you a little bit of money. Not even a little bit of money. We'll give you a lot of money if
By
you
the way,
wear
I'm
these
not gonna.
shoes and play in them.
Yeah. By the way, that 10-day contract idea was actually by my boy Drew over at Soul Retriever. So he's the one who said that. I'm going to give him credit for that one. So I just thought it was a
Gotcha.
funny gag. Yeah, I don't want to take credit for that one because Drew, that was a great one. So shout out to you, buddy. But it is curious though because my thought was, is this kind of like what Jalen Brown wanted to do before he started 741? Because he talked about it, he talked about it on that sneaker shopping episode, right? Where he talked about wanting to work with different brands and kind of moving from brand to brand, whether that's a year at one brand, a year at a different brand. With Steph, it's not even a year. It's a couple games. It's not even a couple games. It might be just a game
Just
where
a game.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Where, Adidas reaches out like, hey, Steph, congratulations on your free agency. Congratulations on being free and all that stuff. It's kind of like when you have a buddy who's like, suddenly single. It's like, yeah, you're a good job. And all that.
Right.
Congratulations and all that. Because, you weren't feeling the relationship. But it's like, hey, let me introduce you to my friend. You
Right.
know?
I
So
got somebody I need you to meet.
I
Yeah.
got somebody. I got somebody. Like, so do you think this is a situation where Adidas reached out to Steph's people and was like, "Hey, we got something.
Yeah.
let's talk business and all that." And Steph is like, "I don't want to. I'm really not into like something serious right now. I kind of just want to like just go around, hang out, have fun, and everything." you know, is it that kind
Yeah,
of
it's
situation where it's like one offs? Just one night
yeah.
sneaker stands, basically.
Now that I think about it, he wore the Kyries and that wasn't a paid thing.
Mm. I feel like this is probably the most likely to be a paid thing.
The
I
most
think with
likely. That's a good way to
all
put
the
it.
other things, all the other ones are like, because he was going to particular cities and wearing sneakers that paid homage to an athlete or a
Hmm.
city or something. This one feels like the most likely to have had some, you know,
Financial
funds
a
being
financial incentive behind it.
yes, financial incentive. Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
And we'll
I
find
feel
out
like
if
this is
he
the
ends
most
up
likely.
signing with Adidas, then we'll know for sure how
Yeah,
this is all
exactly.
positive.
this
If
is
this was all
this
part
is
of the deal.
that would be the biggest swerve of them all if it actually ends up at Adidas. I would not have expected that, to be quite honest.
Not at
If the
all.
end game, yeah, like as much as Adidas probably could use somebody like Steph, I would not have expected Steph to have taken a deal like that. But
Yeah.
if this is just like Steph being, just taking this, one day at a time, one brand at a time, basically. I feel like this lines up to be this is lining up for something special to happen at All Star though. I feel
Oh,
like
for sure.
I don't know who he's working with. We don't have any inside information. We don't know what's happening. We don't know if he's contractually obligated to wear Under Armours to the All Star game.
Yeah.
But let's say he's not. Let's say he's not. And I've always had this, like, the theory that I floated around, and I think we've talked about it. I don't know if it was on Hard Pass or whether we just talked about it on text or whatever. I feel like this is a great time for him. And going back to the Jalen Brunson of it all, to do something with Kobe, to do something with Nike, to pay homage to Kobe, and to just have something to just say, hey, seems like he's been a Kobe guy this whole time. What better way to pay homage than in the arena of that other team?
Of yeah.
But
I think he's gonna. Well, I think over All Star he's gonna wear his Under Armour shoes
Mm,
because of GOAT coming out, and he
yeah,
has to promote
yes,
that movie.
hmm
So I think that's the stage that he would want to do that because he's obviously wants that movie to do well. But
yes,
outside of that, I think we'll see him wearing a bunch of different things. So maybe in the All Star games he wears the GOAT stuff, but then the rest of the time, the rest of the weekend, we'll see him in a bunch of different things.
right,
That's at least that's my theory as of now, just because I know he's going to want to promote the movie GOAT and
right,
push that as much as possible. So with the Under Armour shoes, they're tied directly to that movie.
yeah.
So I would imagine him rocking something from that collection in order to make sure that the movie gets all the exposure it can.
That absolutely makes sense. Steph obviously wants that movie to do well. So
Mm-hmm.
he is going to promote that. And part of that promotion is, hey, the shoes are tied, like those Curry 13s are tied to the movie. So he
Yep.
is going to wear those. And of course, we're also going to be supporting the movie GOAT because our good friend, Tyree Dillahay, is the director of that.
Tyree
So
Dillahay.
hey, everybody go buy tickets to that one. Even if you're not going, just go buy tickets anyway, damn it. Just support the
Yep.
movie anyway.
100%.
Well, anyways, yeah, I feel like out of all of the Steph stuff that's going on right now, this feels like something that's a little bit more than just, because how else would he have gotten the shoe in the first place, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think Steph is in the business of like just doing this stuff out of the goodness of his heart. Like, if he's gonna wear Adidas, he was probably gonna wear Kobe's. He's probably gonna wear like Anthony, like he has done. He's gonna
Mm-hmm.
like shout out like a friend of his or whoever, or pay homage to like a city that he's playing in. To wear something that doesn't have any association with anybody, any player, any team, any city, just a new Adidas basketball shoe, something happened behind the scenes. Not
Yeah.
nefarious. I'm just saying like something that had to have happened.
Something's going on that we don't
Something.
know about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and that's why like I thought it was pretty cool, and I just feel like he's just gonna keep. I want him to just keep doing this for a while. I want to see him happy, is what I'm kind of getting at. Like, to go back
Yeah.
to the whole being happy for a friend who's finally single analogy, right? It's like
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you just want to see them happy, right?
Just want you to be happy, bro.
You just want you to be happy, bro. So Steph, just keep doing this thing, and then when you find somebody, when it's time to settle down, it's time to settle down. But for now, just enjoy your life, man. Just enjoy your
Enjoy
life.
your life and make the most of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Go out there. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, it's been a good show. It's been a good show, Jacques. But it is now time for everybody's favorite sneaker segment of the show. It's Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus time. Pew, 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 pew. Now, before the show, we thought about doing a Jordan Zion Mount Rushmore, but let's be honest, it's not.
We don't
It's
know.
not
I don't
really
know the
gonna.
colorways
I,
like that. I'll be honest. I don't. I don't know this
I got
colorways like
nothing.
that.
I got nothing. I'm sorry, Zion. It's not your fault. It's also not Jordan's fault. It's just a whole combination of things that just didn't pan out the way that it was supposed to pan out.
Yep.
So,
It's not. It's not you. It's me.
it, why are we doing so many relationship analogies in this last half of the
I just
show?
want him to know it's not him. It's
It's,
me.
it's not. Anyways, wow, that was a terrible. Where did that come from? I haven't done that like a little hyena bit in a little.
Yeah.
Anyways, anyways, for this week's Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus, we are doing the Kobe 1 Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus. This is in honor of what was one of the first bits on last week's Hard Pass, where we talked about the City of Champions Kobe 1, which
Mm-hmm.
I wrote on the script. I will take credit for that one. I wrote it's like, this is the best damn shoes ever. These are one of the best Kobe's already. It's not even out yet, but I think it's one of the best Kobe's ever of all time because it's named after the Forum and all that stuff. So I love the
Of
Forum,
all
man.
time.
Heck
I love
yeah.
it.
Anyway, so we're doing the Kobe 1 Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus. The rules are the categories are going to be just 2 rounds. And then we're going to go into the undefeated collabs because there's so many undefeated collabs. And then a PE. Now it could be a Kobe PE like that he actually wore, or another a PE of a player, like whether it's
Okay.
DeMar, Devin, Giannis, all of those players who have had Kobe 1 PEs through the years. So we can go in that one, and then finally a wild card. So
Okay.
I went first last time, Jacques. You have the honors of going first this week. And again, it's snake rules. So after Jacques goes, I will go twice. So round one, floor is yours.
Round one goes to me, and I'm going to start this off in the only way that I know how. That's with the Black Maze colorway. I feel
Ah,
like it is the most iconic of the Kobe One colorways. It just feels like Kobe to me. So I think I want to kick it off with that one just because it feels like it's the most classic when it comes to the Kobe colorways.
yep. And that is definitely one of those, one of the more iconic ones. And it's an OG colorway. And
Hmm.
quite honestly, I thought you were going to maybe make that your second pick because, man, I can't imagine picking anything else with number one but the 81 points.
Got
That
it.
is going to
Yeah.
be, yeah, I feel like when in
Yeah.
terms of like iconic Kobe colorways, like it didn't start out that way. I believe it was a player exclusive before it actually like released like
Hmm.
after the initial Kobe
Yeah.
one runs ended. Um, so it didn't start out that way. It wasn't part of the original run, but it just became that way because hey, he scored 81 points in the damn thing. So of course it's gonna become legendary. And
Yeah.
we are, you know, yeah, got to go
That's a
with
good
that
one.
one. Yeah,
That's a
totally.
good one.
And it's still it's always gonna be the well, it's just gonna have I'm always gonna have this weird image in my mind of seeing those Kobe 181 points protros when it first came out, sitting in outlet stores and thinking, what are people thinking? Like we always talk
Yeah.
about like how important storytelling is, how important history is, and of course this is all prior to his passing. And to see it in outlet stores was just like I always felt it was just madly disrespectful, and I should have just bought extra pairs. I bought it at release, and to see that at outlet stores, I was like, man, I should have bought some more extras.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But I always thought it was just wildly disrespectful that a shoe that historic was sitting in an outlet store. It should have been sold out just on the sheer history of it all alone, just because of
The sheer
yeah.
history of what that shoe
We
offers
always
up.
talk
Yeah.
about like how important this stuff is, and that we don't follow through on it. I was just yeah, it was always crazy to me that it wasn't the case. For round two, my round two pick is going to be the Minneapolis colorway of the Kobe one. I
Oh,
think I messed up that name.
yeah.
I remember
And the
that because
MMLPS,
the ML,
the
yeah, MPL,
MLPS.
yes. The reason is because I remember buying that during the original run for I believe $60 at a Chic Shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, I forget what mall it was, but I remember buying it on sale. It was like $60, and I was like, "Woo, man, Kobe's love these shoes." Finally got it.
That's a good one.
I think that was also my first pair of Kobe ones. I think I
Oh,
had like
wow.
two or three. I think I had two or three, and I think that might have been the first one I got. So
That's
I
a
was
good
gonna have a
one.
special place, and of course it's just a neat colorway, gray with the light blue, which of course
Yep.
is of course the best color, light blue. But yeah, yeah, the MPLS colorway of the Nike Kobe one is my second pick.
I don't know if light blue is the best color, but I think I get what you're trying to say. So we'll go with that. So for my second pick, I have two options here, and I don't know if I'm gonna go like world stage or yeah, let's go world stage. We're gonna go with the Kobe One Olympic. Go
Ah,
with the Olympic colorway. Yeah,
those are
gonna rock
nice.
with the
Those are
world
nice.
stage.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
that's a good
Yeah.
one. It's a good colorway. Um, they've made so there's the Olympic one, and then I think there's a USA one too. I think I'm talking about the. Let me look up the USA one because I think I want to make sure I'm talking about the right one. Because there's
Are
a
you talking about with the
USA and then
blue?
there's an
The one with
Olympic.
like the blue upper?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
So
know which one you're talking about. But yeah, no, that's a cool looking colorway. Yeah. Shame he
and
didn't wear that to
then
the actual Olympics though. But yeah,
for my undefeated pair,
which is a
this
lot,
one was this one was hard to do because I actually have a couple of these.
and I hate you for it.
So but I think the best of the bunch is the flight jacket, the Kobe One flight jacket.
Ah,
That's the
damn.
most undefeated,
Ah,
like Jordan kind of ish
yep.
undefeated color one. So
Ah,
I'm rocking with the flight jacket for my undefeated collab.
Damn. Damn, I was gonna go with that one too, because it's besides the Jordan homage, that's just a really cool looking pair of Kobe's, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just mwah. Basically. Undefeated,
Yep.
just the kings of this stuff when it comes to this. But my alternate pick was going to be the green camo one. Not the
Yeah.
traditional camo, but like the bright green camo.
Oh, the bright
Uh
green. Oh, you're going with
yeah,
the bright green one. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That was the one I remember. I think it was it what year was that? Like All-Star, whatever year that was in LA. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I like, one of those Nike there was like the Nike activation, like that area where they had, right? And I think I saw, was it Giannis? I think it was Giannis who was wearing those. And I remember seeing
Oh,
them in
yeah,
person.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
That's right. I
seeing
think
them
it
in
was
person, I was
Giannis.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, I
I
think it
need
was
that.
Giannis.
I need
Yeah.
that. I never got it. And I was like, I was seriously considering buying them at resale when it was like $300 or something. I just never did. And now it's like 1,000 or something, whatever. Now I'm like, sad face.
Sheesh. Yeah, I think it was Giannis that wore those, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think it
no,
was
those
Giannis.
are, but yeah, no, since you went with the undefeated, which, hey, I can't hate it. That's the one I would have gone with. But my second
Yeah.
pick would have been, that green camel one, because it's pretty cool. Like the regular camel one is also pretty neat, but that green camel one, just something, just poof, that pop of like bright green with the
Yeah.
camel pattern, just excellent, excellent. So shout out to Undefeated, man, because they are just,
Shout
like
out
I
to
said,
undefeated.
killers of this stuff. For the PE, let's see. I'm gonna go with the DeMar DeRozan PE. I believe that's when he was still with the red. It's red. It's like a red padded leather.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Like Pat. Yeah, Pat. Yeah, yeah, that one
I,
is
I
Pat.
don't know if this is actually an undefeated collab as well, but it's a DeMar DeRozan PE. Like, it specifically was made because I believe it has the 10
Mm-hmm.
jersey number on it, so I'm counting that as like a PE. So I'm just gonna go with that one because, yeah, man, those are funky. I could never probably get away with wearing that because it's like bright patent leather red. But yeah, man. But also, it's homage to DeMar, man. He was like the original Kobe guy. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta show Jamar some love.
absolutely, Compton's finest, man.
Compton's finest. All right, then for my PE, I'm gonna go with Devin Booker.
Mm.
Shout out to the Phoenix Suns with his purple and orange. It's almost purple and gold, but more purple and orange than it was close. It was close. It was close. So I'll take that one for my PE. I was gonna go with Kobe's final, I think it's final game,
Yeah.
final seconds. Sorry, but I'll rock with Devin. So that means for my wild card though,
Yep.
for my final pick, that's the one where you got to go with the final seconds. You got to get a Laker colorway in when it comes to Kobe ones. You can't do this and not have a Lakers colorway. So
Yeah.
final
Yeah.
seconds will be my final pick. That's final answer.
Wait, the final seconds, is that the one that's like basically like the is that the one with like the 8 on the side, I
Yeah, with the
think?
8 on the side. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I think that's the was that the one he wore when like he went that game winner against Phoenix or something? Or what, it was one of those. It was one of those, but
Something. Yeah,
yeah.
probably. Ain't no telling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's a lot. There's
probably.
a lot of like just excellent Kobe
Yeah.
P, like, out there. So for my last pick, you're right. There should be a Lakers colorway in there, but I already went with one, with my first pick. Um, Gosh. So I already checked off my Lakers box in there. So I'm going to go with the Kobe one. Now, so I got a couple of options here. Like, there's the other undefeated, the yellow camel one. That's a good one.
There's a
There's
good one
this
here. I don't. Do you have
there's a
that hasn't
there's
been
a
picked yet?
there's a stash PE. Like, I guess
Yeah.
that the black and purple one. I can't go with that one just because I never really heard about it until like recently,
Yeah.
as in like today.
Mm.
Maybe I always knew about it, but I just blocked it out of my memory.
Just
And I
blocked
was
it
like,
out. Yeah.
yeah, like, of course Stash had a thing with Kobe. Of course, I should know that, right? But I'm gonna go with something that I actually do know, and that's the Kobe One Prelude pack. That's the
Ah, I
one.
knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Good choice. Good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, man, like that was such a daring thing to do initially when we first heard about the Prelude pack. They were bringing back
Yeah,
all the Kobe's, and I'm like, wait, what? You're bringing back all the Kobe's? Yes, like all of them. Leading up to what was it was leading up to was it the Kobe 9, I think?
I think so. I don't
Yeah,
remember how
but
far they went.
yeah, but basically they worked with these different artists to like, make artistic renditions of every single Kobe signature shoe up to that point. Kobe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to I believe it may have been the 9 or a 10, but whatever. But all of them just excellent, just very like, unique artistic representations of each signature shoe. But yeah, no, the Kobe 1, yeah, it was pretty neat. I mean, it's basically a black upper, but basically the artistic renditions, like, the different graphics come from like the swoosh and the collar.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, good stuff. So I had to
Gotta
get that
go with
in
the
there.
Prelude. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
That was good. That was gonna
yeah,
if I hadn't I had to pick like a Laker colorway, but if I didn't pick a Laker colorway, I was gonna pick the Prelude. But
yeah, but
I
can't
didn't
go
have any
wrong.
Lakers colorway, so I had to finish that up.
Can't go over that one. Yeah, can't go wrong with that one. Like, of course, it had to make it on there, but shout out to that. Also thought about like the Fate the Black Pack. There's a bunch of other Kobe ones in there that could have made honorable mentions. Other undefeated ones. Yeah,
Yep.
there's just a handful of them. The regular camel one. There's
Yeah,
that white
that
pair.
dark camo one. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
dark
camel
camo
was
one's
pretty
the
cool.
one.
Yeah,
think I have those too. Yes, I have
yeah,
those.
yeah. I think you've shown like I think that it's in your like one of your displays there, and I've seen it. And
Yeah.
every time I look at it, I'm like, F.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one to be like, when I look at your stuff and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because I've had the similar feeling before, right? Like, I know what this is like to have like all of these freaking shoes in
Yeah.
one place, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it, right? But if there's one pair in your room that every time I look at it, I'm like, damn, it's that one. It's always
Yeah,
that
it's a
one.
good one. It's a
Like,
good one.
ugh. Anyways, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
That was episode 71 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. Again, I am Juan Martinez, and now it's Jacques Slade for the shameless plugs.
I am Jacques Slade. Thank you guys for watching / listening. We appreciate you guys. I'm using my iPhone today, so you guys can let me know if the quality looks good or if the iPhone looks bad. For some reason, we couldn't get Riverside working on my regular computer. I don't know what's going on. But either way, make sure you leave us a comment, rate, subscribe, share with your friends. Let them know that you love this show. Let them know that you're watching this show. Let them know that Jacques usually wins the Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus. All the things that you usually do for every show. Let's do that here. As always, we appreciate you guys. If you want to send us an email, it's toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. Send us a short email. Let us know what you love, what you don't. And again, always share the message. I'm Jacques Slade. He's Juan, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
We out.